to day 4 of my Power BI Bootcamp series, where I take you from beginner to advanced. Right now, in day 1, 2, and 3, we covered Power BI basic foundation and what is Power BI. That is what we covered in day 1. Day 2 was more about cleaning the data and modeling our data set. Day 3 was about DAX coding. I took you to a little bit of advanced Power BI there. And today, we'll be bringing everything together. We'll be making our final dashboard today, bringing all the visualizations, the KPIs, the DAX we have built in day 1 to 3. So let's quickly dive into our Power BI application. So this is what we have done until now. It looks very scattered and not aesthetic. So let's just create a new page for now and start building our inventory dashboard. For this, the first thing I'll do is I'll go on Insert, I'll click Shape, I'll click a rectangle, and then size it to my entire canvas area. This is my shape where I'm building the header. Next, I will click on the text box, and this opens up a text box for me. I'll probably increase the size to 28, and I'll write a heading for my dashboard. So let me say it as Inventory Health Dashboard. And again, let me just resize this. I'll do a center alignment. I'll make it bold. So for that, let's just select our text, make it bold, adjust the size again, and then drag it here. Now the background doesn't look nice, right? So we want to make the background transparent. Just click on your text box, click on Format Text Box, scroll here to see the properties, and look for an option which says background. So you can scroll, explore where you can find this. And under effects, I see background turned on and the color is white. Either I can change the color to my preference, increase the transparency, or just turn off, which will make it transparent. So that is what I want to go for right now. So that's our beautiful header. Next, what we'll do is the slicers that we created in our day 1, we'll be doing the same thing. So just hit the slicer under visualization. So I click on this icon. And the first slicer that I want to create is date slicer. So in my data section, I will open the dim date table. And under that, I will drag my date column. This by default changes my date from 1st of January 2025, which is in my data set. And it's a 1-year data set. So that's the end date. I can click and choose another date. And it also gives me a slicer, which I can scroll and change the date. So if you see, if I scroll it here, the date changes. And again, that's the end date. I'll just resize it and bring it here. I'll do some changes in the visualization. So again, go on visualization. And here, I don't want the slicer text, the header. Instead, I'll go on general and turn on the title bar. So once I do that, here under text, I'll write my title as date. I want to make it bold. And maybe I want to even do like a center alignment. That's your first slicer. And next, let's just copy the same slicer and paste it again. So this will help us to keep the formatting same, the size same. So if I open on the second slicer, again, automatically I see my header is turned off, my title is in the center. So those kinds of formatting is copied. It just saves you time. So, but I don't want date again. So under field, I remove date. Instead, I will take category from my product table. So let me just drag category column here. And again, in my visualization, I go on general, I change the title. Instead of date, my title should be category. And instead of using the list format, I want my values to be a dropdown. Since when you're creating dashboards, it totally depends on how you want to keep the layout. In this dashboard, we'll be having a lot of slicers, so that will occupy a lot of space in my canvas. So I feel the layout would look better if I'm using a drop-down option rather than like a list, which is already opened up, or maybe tiles. But totally depends on what and how you want your dashboard to look like. So again, I copy this slicer, and this slicer would be a subcategory instead of category. So I do that. I go on my format visual. Again, under general, I change the title to be subcategory. Just resize it, copy it again. And this slicer would be product ID. So this is according to your business requirement. So right now, I feel that the user would need to slice the data, filter the data using category, subcategory, and then maybe you just want to know your inventory situation or health of a particular product. So that's why I'm giving another slicer of a product ID, where the user just wants to search for a single product. Then I can make another slicer for supplier ID. So considering a user might want to look for just one supplier. So how many products I have from a particular supplier, or what's the supplier performance, that kind of thing. So that's why I'm giving another slicer called supplier ID. And I'll just reformat them again because in my data set, I also have another column called warehouse. And there can be situations where you do not want to look for all your warehouses together, right? You just want to check for a single warehouse. So in that case, instead of category, I'll just drag the warehouse option. And in my general settings title, I will put warehouse. So these are the slicers. And now you can either select a single category and then go on to your second one, choose another, and so on. But for example, now I want to clear all my slicers. So one thing is, again, I go manually in on my slicers, hit the option and clear them again. For ease, you can actually in Power BI create a button which says clear all filters. For this, you will go on your ribbon again, go on insert, and then you have an option called buttons. You have multiple types of buttons here. You have the left arrow. It kind of moves your dashboard to the left side, like if you want to scroll it. Similarly, the right arrow, we have the reset button. These are some of the default buttons that Power BI gives us. And it also gives us a blank button. So if you want to create your own customized button, you can use a blank button and then kind of modify it according to your needs. But here we'll be using clear all slicers button. So I'll just single click on it and you see I get a button here which says clear all slicers. And if you want, you can again change settings, shape of the button, make it look like a pill, maybe increase the size, change the background colors. And here, if you scroll down and you see action, the action is turned on. And this is the action your button would do once it's clicked on. So it says the action is to clear all slicers. So that is what it will be doing. So if you hit your control on your keyboard and click the clear button, you see my warehouse selected is removed, is cleared. So that is the advantage of a clear all slicers button, because in the industry, when you are doing company level dashboard, you do have a lot of slicers and it just saves you a lot of time to hit the clear all slicer button. So yeah, that is done. Next, let's just bring some KPI cards. So I hit on the card button, I resize it and probably drag it to the top. So for KPI, the first KPI I want is total quantity sold. So under my measures, I will drag my total quantity sold into the value option and it gives me 13K units. I'll do some formatting. So I click on the format visual for call out, go on call out, and then the label is turned off. And for the value, let it be on, but center line. Okay. And then you go on to general and you turn on the title and you write the title as total quantity sold. So there's a reason why I'm always closing the call out value or maybe header and then manually typing in the title, because it just gives me flexibility to format it, because column names can't be formatted, but once you take it as a text or a title, you can format it. You can change the style of it, you can change the color, you can change the alignment. So that just helps to make your dashboard more aesthetic. So I'll simply copy paste this KPI card again. And this time, instead of quantity sold, let me bring my measure stock on hand. So that's the stock on hand. Again, I'll go on my formatting, go on general, and in my title, change my title as stock on hand. Next, what I feel is that the client can use is stock cover days. So how long my stock would last. That is something that I feel is helpful. So I just copy paste my card again. I'll change the value to stock cover days. And in my format visual, I go on general and change the title of this, which is stock cover days. Just maybe format them again. And that's your KPI section. Next, let's make a bar chart. So I click on bar chart, drag it to where I want it. And again, the x-axis and y-axis, I'll be taking category and product ID. So it kind of shows me that for these categories, these are the number of products. And you can scroll down this bar chart to see all categories, or you can extend the size. In this case, you see it's the value here at the y-axis is category, and on the x-axis it's count of product ID. What you can do is you directly go on your visualization section, and x-axis, this is the name. You right-click on the name, and you can rename it for this particular visual. So your column name stays the same, but only for this particular visual, it will be changed. So I'll click on the rename button, and instead of count, I'll write number of products. Again, we're just making it business professional. So that's why we did that change. Okay, I don't know why it didn't get saved. Let's do it again. And now you see the number of products here in your x-axis is replaced with the new title that you gave. Next, let's bring in a line chart. So you click on the line chart, get a line chart here. And here, I just want to study the trend of how the quantity is sold month over month. So for that, what I'll do is in the x-axis, I'll pick up my months. And in the y-axis, I'll take quantity sold. So this is a trend line, and it gives me, okay, in month of January, I sold 1,219 units, and similarly, say in the 5th month of May, I sold X number of units. So for every month, you can see that, and the graph kind of helps you identify that in this month, which is the 8th month, you were able to sell the most number of products. So right now, the numbers are given instead of months. This is something that you can change in your data set. So you go on your table view and search for that table. Here, instead of numbers, you can replace them with letters or words using that function or calculated columns. But right now, we'll just leave it as is. And then the last visualization on this page would be the same that you had done previously. So I will just copy this. So select this visualization, copy it, and in my page 2, select paste, and probably resize this. So these are the few things that you can do to save time, right? You don't need to do again and again. This is the beauty of Power BI. So, and it kind of adjusts with all the filters and slicers. It's all synced. Here, I will just add one more touch, which is stock cover days. So I'll click my visualization, go on my visualization panel, look for this column. In this column, I will right click and then go on conditional formatting. I'm doing the same thing that we did for the reorder flag. Conditional formatting, background color. And here you see there's a minimum value and maximum value, and the format style chosen is grid instead of rules. So for reorder flag, we were using rules because there were just two values and we had to define rule for each value. But here, since it's a number column, you can leave it as a gradient. It will look more presentable and you'll be able to understand the insights better. So for the lowest value, I would want a red color, just highlighting that your stock cover days is low. You need to reorder the product. And for the maximum value, I'll make it green, that you're in good condition. You don't need to order or worry about this section. And I will just add a middle color as well. So I hit on the add a middle color. And for the center color, I want to drag it from yellow. So I'll just select a yellow tone and I hit OK. So this would be my trend line. Red signifying that I need to take care and look into this. The stock days are less. Yellow being okay, manageable, and green being you're in the good state. Hit OK, and you see this column is changed. And now it just helps you to understand the insights better. For example, you see the last second line, which is product number 31. The reorder flag is okay. So basically, it's indicating that you're okay, your inventory health is good. But if you see the stock cover days, it's highlighted in red and it says 11. And the logic we used in a dashboard was if stock cover days is less than 10, then the reorder flag should be red, right? This is 11. It's very close. So you can be preventive and not let it fall into the threshold and maybe just reorder it right now. So it just helps you take those proactive actions. So that's another insight that this color formatting helps us with. Next, Power BI also has a very interesting, I don't know what to call this. Yeah, it has a very interesting tool, which says a Q&A. So if you hit and bring this here, this is a tool where you can actually ask questions about your data. And you see there are some prompts here. So top categories sold by total quantity sold. So either you can click on this or maybe type your own question here. So it just helps that, for example, at the time of building the dashboard, the user did not kind of think of the situation. But right now, this question and answer tool helps you get answers to your questions which are not even there in your dashboard, right? It just helps you study your data better. So let me just click on one of the trial questions and you see the beauty, you get the answer. Now you have your top categories sold by quantity sold. You just clear it and then you can ask another question and you get a graph, answers everything. And maybe you can write a question by yourself also. So give me the units sold in month 5. And it gives me month over month units sold for every product. So that's the beauty. You can ask any questions, get any number of insights from your database by just using this Q&A option. So for now, I'll just hit garage and I will let this option sit here. And then you can explore it further as well. But right now, I'll just keep it here. So that is all our visualizations and everything that we learned in day 1, 2, and 3 to put together. And one more thing that I want to do here is maybe do a bit of color formatting, right? So there are multiple options to do it. One option can be you hit on every card that you've created and then go into your visualization, go into your formatting and change the colors. Or the second option can be you just hit your ribbon view and here you have some default formats which you can use to change the theme of your dashboard. So whenever you click this, the colors in my dashboard would change. So I can scroll down, look for the best fit, the best color scheme that I want. Or maybe I can also browse other themes in Power BI or create my own custom theme, import a theme, like you can download a JSON file from the web and import it here directly. Or maybe your company has a particular theme, color scheme that they use in their professional dashboard. You can import that theme as well. So right now, let me just randomly click one of them. And yeah, this is how your dashboard looks like. You can do minor tweaks as I feel this is a darker color. I might want to change it to white. And yeah, that's how your dashboard looks like. And you can do final, maybe a little bit more formatting, make it more aesthetically pleasing, resize your graphs. So those are minor cosmetic changes that you can do according to the theme you've selected. But more or less, this is how we kind of combine everything we have studied until now. And yeah, that's about it. Day 4 is done, and yeah, I would love for you guys to maybe make the same dashboard or import your own data, explore the data, and create something for your own company, for something that you want to use. And in day 5, we'll be publishing this data to Power BI service, and we'll be talking more about portfolio, and I'll give you little tips and tricks of how you can effectively use this. So yeah, thank you. Keep learning.